In the sprawling, neon-lit city of New Avalon, where humans and aliens coexisted uneasily, the strange and the unknown were often met with suspicion or outright disdain. The government's new policy to segregate alien refugees to the outskirts had only worsened tensions. In this melting pot of interstellar cultures, empathy was a rare currency. Among the many alien refugees was a girl named Lira. She wasn't like the others, at least not in a way anyone noticed. Lira was quiet, almost painfully so. She arrived from the distant planet Ithra, where emotions were communicated not through words, but through delicate bioluminescent pulses emitted by their skin. But here, on Earth, no one understood her language. From the moment she arrived, Lira's presence was overshadowed by louder, more demanding voices. Humans and aliens alike dismissed her. In school, her classmates ignored her. In the refugee camp, other aliens regarded her as odd. She spoke little, moved slowly, and the faint glowing of her skin, once vibrant and expressive, faded almost entirely. She felt invisible, a ghost among both worlds. The silent cry. Lira's silent cry was not a scream or a shout. It was a language without words, a desperate pulse beneath her skin, a subtle rhythm of light and color that begged for recognition. But no one stopped to see it. No one stopped to listen. Her loneliness was a void growing inside her, filling every quiet moment. She longed to be heard, to be understood, but the people around her treated her like a shadow, a mistake. Until one day. The human who heard. Eli was a junior technician at the city's Interspecies Communication Center, a small, dusty building tucked between skyscrapers. He was an unassuming man, overlooked by his colleagues. Quiet, curious, and endlessly patient, Eli was fascinated by alien languages and customs. He had spent years studying the bioluminescent signals of various species, but no one else shared his interest. When Lira came to the center for her registration, Eli noticed the faint glow beneath her skin. He saw the pulses, weak, irregular, but there. Something about them called to him, a puzzle he wanted to solve. "Hello," he said gently, kneeling beside her chair. "I'm Eli. Can I help you?" Lira looked up. Her eyes were large, filled with a mixture of fear and hope. She nodded ever so slightly. Eli extended a small handheld device, a translator and signal reader. As it hovered near Lira's skin, it began to pick up her bioluminescent signals, translating the colors and pulses into words on its screen. "I'm here," the device spelled out. "I am scared. I am lost." Eli's heart clenched. "You don't have to be scared. You're not alone anymore." Breaking the silence. Over the following weeks, Eli made it his mission to communicate with Lira. They met daily at the center. He learned to read her subtle signals without the device and began teaching her simple Earth phrases. Slowly, she spoke more. Her glow grew brighter with each small victory. But outside the center, the world was still harsh. Refugee camps grew more crowded. Alien protests were met with human hostility. Lira's people were being pushed further to the margins, and her health began to decline under the stress and neglect. Eli knew something had to be done. He reached out to his contacts, activists, scientists, even a few sympathetic politicians. He shared what he'd learned about Lira's silent cry and what it meant, an urgent plea for connection and understanding. The turning point. One evening, a citywide blackout struck New Avalon. Chaos erupted as the neon lights flickered out and security alarms blared. In the darkness, a group of xenophobic radicals stormed the refugee camp. Lira, alone and vulnerable, was trapped. Her glow dimmed as fear overwhelmed her. But then Eli arrived. Using a portable light scanner, he found her hiding under a collapsed tent. "Lira, I'm here," he called softly. Her glow pulsed weakly but steadily, a silent beacon. Eli lifted her to her feet and guided her through the chaos. As they ran, Lira's bioluminescence began to flare, not just fear now, but hope and determination. The glow attracted attention. Other refugees saw it, and soon humans did too. Word spread rapidly about the alien girl who shone like a living light in the darkest hour. A voice for the voiceless. The incident sparked a citywide conversation. News outlets covered the story, the silent cry of an alien girl no one had heard, until one human chose to listen. Activists held vigils, calling for compassion and integration rather than segregation. Scientists began to study Ithran communication, inspired by Lira's story. The city's leaders faced pressure to reform refugee policies. Lira herself became a symbol, not just of alien refugees, but of the power of empathy. A new dawn. Months later, Eli and Lira stood side by side at a community gathering in the city's new cultural center. Lira's skin pulsed softly, harmonizing with the lights around her. She spoke fluent Earth languages now but still used her bioluminescent signals to express deeper emotions. "Everyone thought I was invisible," she said, voice steady, eyes shining. But Eli heard my silent cry. That made all the difference. The crowd applauded, a mix of humans and aliens united. Eli smiled. Sometimes, you don't have to shout to be heard. Sometimes, all it takes is one person willing to listen. Epilogue. The light never fades. Years later, the city of New Avalon was transformed. Alien refugees were welcomed and integrated. The communication center became a hub of cultural exchange, with Eli as its director and Lira as a lead ambassador. The silent cry that once went unnoticed became a language of hope. And in that light, a new future was born.